My family sold my house while I was fighting stage 3 cancer in the hospital, and blew every penny on my sister's dream wedding. Then they told me I was the selfish one for wanting it back. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most gut-wrenching family betrayal stories I've ever come across. This actually happened to a woman named Lauren, now 31. She shared the details anonymously online because the pain is still fresh. It's the kind of story that makes you question everything you thought you knew about blood being thicker than water. If you've ever been sick, ever trusted family with your life, or ever felt completely erased by the people who were supposed to protect you, this one is going to hit hard. Let's get into it. My name is Lauren. 2 years ago, I was 29, working as a pediatric nurse, paying off my little 2-bedroom house that I'd bought with every penny I saved from overtime shifts and a small inheritance from my grandmother. That house wasn't just bricks and mortar, it was my safe place. I'd painted every wall myself, planted a tiny garden in the backyard, and it was the first thing in my life that felt completely mine. I was single, no kids, but I was happy. Then came the diagnosis. Stage 3 breast cancer, aggressive. The oncologist gave me the news on a Tuesday afternoon, and by Friday I was starting chemo. My family, mom, dad, and my older sister Brittany, swooped in like they always did. "We've got you," they said. "You focus on fighting. We'll handle everything else." I was terrified, throwing up constantly, losing my hair in clumps, too weak to even drive. So when Mom sat by my hospital bed and gently suggested I sign a power of attorney, just so we can pay your bills and keep the lights on at the house, I didn't hesitate. I trusted them. Why wouldn't I? They were my family. The next 4 months were hell. 6 rounds of chemo, a double mastectomy, radiation that burned my skin raw. I was in and out of the hospital. My phone barely worked half the time because I was too sick to charge it. Mom visited every day, bringing me smoothies I couldn't keep down and telling me how strong I was. Brittany posted Instagram stories from my hospital room saying, "Praying for my baby sister," with sad music. Dad stayed quiet like always. I thought they were my rock. What I didn't know was that while I was bald, vomiting, and 30 pounds lighter, they were quietly listing my house. Mom used the power of attorney I'd signed. They found a realtor who was a friend of the family, priced it to sell fast because the market was hot, and closed in 28 days. $385,000 cash. My entire equity, gone. They moved all my furniture and clothes into a storage unit I never knew existed. My car was sold too. They told the neighbors I'd decided to move closer to family during treatment. I found out the day I was finally discharged. I'd beaten the odds. The cancer was in remission. I was weak, but I was alive and ready to go home, sleep in my own bed, plant new flowers, and start rebuilding. Mom picked me up from the hospital with balloons and a welcome home sign. We pulled up to nothing, an empty lot with a sold sign still in the grass. I thought I was hallucinating from the meds. "Where's my house?" I whispered. Mom smiled like it was no big deal. "Sweetie, we sold it. You were so sick, we really thought you might not make it. Brittany's wedding was coming up and she deserved her dream day. We used the money for the wedding in the Bahamas. 45 guests, oceanfront villa, everything. It was beautiful. You would have loved it if you'd been well enough to come." I stared at her. My sister Brittany was standing right there in the driveway of Mom and Dad's house, wearing her engagement ring and grinning like she'd won the lottery. "Yeah, Lauren," she said. "You were literally dying. We had to celebrate life while we could. Don't be mad. We saved you a spot at the head table in the photos." They had used $320,000 of my money on a destination wedding. Flights, 5-star resort, open bar, live band, the works. Another $40,000 went to Brittany's new luxury SUV as a wedding gift. The rest paid off some credit cards and funded a family vacation to heal after the stress of your cancer. I threw up on the driveway. Not from chemo this time, from pure shock. That night they sat me down in the living room like I was a child. Mom said, "We did what any loving family would do. You always said family comes first. Brittany needed this. Her fiancé's family is wealthy and we didn't want to look bad. You're young. You can buy another house later. Be grateful you're even alive." Dad nodded along. Brittany cried and said, "I felt so guilty, but Mom said you'd want me to be happy." I asked for the paperwork. They refused at first, then finally showed me the power of attorney and the sale documents. Everything was perfectly legal on paper. I was too weak to fight right then. I slept on their couch for 2 weeks while I processed it. When I hired a lawyer, that's when the real betrayal hit. My own family turned on me like I was the criminal. Mom called me ungrateful and money-obsessed. Brittany posted on Facebook, "Some people survive cancer and become bitter instead of blessed. Pray for my sister." Dad told relatives I was having chemo brain and making up stories. They spread rumors that I was addicted to pain pills and couldn't be trusted with money. My aunts and uncles started texting me, saying I should drop the lawsuit because family doesn't sue family. The court case took 9 months. My lawyer proved the power of attorney was obtained under duress. I was heavily medicated and terrified when I signed it. The realtor admitted under oath that Mom had pressured her to rush the sale. The judge ruled it was a clear breach of fiduciary duty and elder, vulnerable adult financial exploitation, even though I wasn't elderly. I got every penny back plus damages and legal fees, over $460,000 total. The house had already been resold to someone else, but the money let me buy a new place, smaller, but mine. The day the check cleared, I cut them off completely. No more holidays. No more calls. Mom still sends guilt trip texts every few months. "How can you do this to your mother after we stood by you during cancer?" Brittany blocked me but still likes old photos of us as kids. Dad sent one message. "We only wanted what was best." What was best for who? I'm cancer-free now. I have a new house I'm slowly making into a home again. I go to therapy twice a month because the betrayal still keeps me up at night. Sometimes I scroll through the hidden photos from Brittany's wedding, the ones they tagged me in while I was in the hospital getting poison pumped into my veins. They're smiling in the Bahamas, toasting with my money, while I was fighting for my life alone. The most insane part? They still don't think they did anything wrong. In their minds, I'm the villain for daring to want back what was mine. If you've ever had family use your lowest moment to benefit themselves, or if you've ever been told "but we're family" while they stabbed you in the back, you're not crazy and you're not alone. Sometimes the people who are supposed to love you the most are the ones who hurt you the worst. Drop your own story in the comments if you've been through something similar. I read every single one. And if this video hit you in the chest, please hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss these real-life stories that remind us to protect our peace, even from blood. Thanks for watching. Stay strong out there. Your story isn't over.